Module 4 shows how to perform a large displacement static analysis of a cantilever beam having an elastic material. This module is divided into 4 parts. This part shows how to apply loads and boundary conditions as well as generate the mesh. Subsequent parts will show how to execute the analysis and interpret the results. The cantilever beam has a length of 12 inches, a width of 1 inch, and a thickness of 1/8 inch. The material is 6061-T6 aluminum. The beam is subjected to a 2 psi pressure acting on its top face. Prior to meshing the beam, we will apply the boundary conditions and pressure. We must make sure that the selection mode is set to surfaces, and then we will apply the boundary condition on the fixed end. We select a surface, add a surface boundary condition. We will constrain the X, Y, and Z displacements. Next, we will apply a 2 psi pressure to the top surface. We select the surface, add a surface pressure or traction. We have 2 options, a pressure and a traction. The difference between a pressure and a traction is that the pressure will always act normal to the surface. We will change the magnitude to 2 psi, and we will click the box follows displacement. By clicking this box, we will always assure ourselves that the pressure stays normal to the surface as the beam deflects. If we did not check this box, as the beam deflects, the pressure would remain normal to its original position. Next, we will set the element type to brick. Brick elements are commonly used to mesh systems developed with a CAD system. We must edit the element definition. In this case, we want to select the mid-side nodes option. We will include these. The reason being is that a 8-noded brick does not have sufficient flexibility to accurately model the bending through the thin section. Next, we will set the material to aluminum 6061-T6. At this point, we are ready to generate the mesh. The beam has a 1/8 inch thickness, and we want to put 2 elements through this thickness, giving us an element size of 1/16 inch. Select mesh and go to the 3D mesh settings. Go to options, select model, and we will turn off the automatic geometry based mesh size function. We desire to specify an absolute mesh size, and we can do it by turning that off, going to surface, and specifying an absolute mesh size. The size we are going to select is 0.0625 or 1/16 of an inch. We can now generate the mesh. Once the mesh is generated, we can zoom in and see if it did what we were after. We can select vertices, and we see that not only do we have the corner nodes on the brick element, but we also have mid-side nodes generated. If we look at the pressures on top, we see that a pressure loading has been generated and applied to each of the nodes on the top surface, including the midside nodes. This concludes this video.